It's time we got on to the play, isn't it? The most fabulous opening of all Shakespeare's plays, and perhaps of any play at all. You've got all the thunder and lightning, you've got the storm, and you've got these witches. When shall we three meet again, in thunder, lightning, or in rain? When the hurly-burly's done, when the battle's lost and won. And even there, by line 4, you've got the equivocation. The hurly-burly is the chaos. It starts in chaos, and the chaos develops. Notice it's about the future. When shall we three meet again? We've established in 4 lines, we've established such a lot of things. Chaotic weather, the 3 of them, regular meetings, 3 being the number of witchcraft. When the hurly-burly is done, so the chaos is going to be got over, but when the battle's lost, it is also won by somebody else. Rather like Tom Stoppard's Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead, an exit somewhere is an entrance somewhere else. That's exactly what equivocation is for. That will be ere the set of sun, where the place upon the heath, there to meet with Macbeth. Now there's a fabulous thing here in this line, there to meet with Macbeth, there to meet with Macbeth. It's a short line and it's lumpy. It needs there to meet with Macbeth, so that there's a momentary pause before the name is mentioned. Now it's very rare for the actual tragic hero to be named by other people so very early on in the play. There's usually more scene setting goes on, but the audience is sitting there thinking, whoa, Macbeth. Now the thing is, they're plotting already. Before the play opens, they've plotted that they're going to meet with Macbeth. There's something going on already. We don't just start from nothing. And off they go, finishing with the wonderful chorus, fair is foul and foul is fair, hover through the fog and filthy air. And there would be puffs of that smoky dried ice or whatever they used, so that they could kind of float and disappear. And wow, what's going to happen now? And now it goes straight into the end of the battle. And the famous line, I'm sorry, what bloody man is that? That would have been slightly macabrely funny even in Shakespeare's day. Yes, but you wouldn't laugh at something the king said, and Duncan is obviously the king. It's really important in this play how people look. We'll see in a moment. But Duncan must look every inch a king. He must look, sound, comport himself as a king. The absolute example of the perfect king, which is how Macbeth describes him later on. And therefore, if the king happens to say something just slightly odd, you don't giggle at it, because the man is covered in blood, he's wounded, he's flung onto the stage, preferably crawling. He has to be really wounded, but he has to be not sufficiently wounded that he can't do the big speech which tells the people what's just happened. What bloody man is that? He can report, as seemeth by his plight, of the revolt, the newest state. The revolt. Yes, the Thanes are revolting. Again, it's important that we see the chaos set against the order of the king. Duncan represents order, the battle represents chaos. This is the sergeant who, like a good and hardy soldier, fought against my captivity. Hail, brave friend. And this is Malcolm. Now, we don't know yet, but Malcolm is the son of Duncan, and he will be the king at the end of the play. he has been saved by this bloody sergeant. Rather important, because if he hadn't been saved, there wouldn't have been a world to save. And the captain tells the story of Macbeth's triumph. Look at the first word of his report. Doubtful, it stood. The battle was on an edge. Equivocated, sorry, yeah, but ambiguous. And Macbeth it is who resolves that doubt and who wins the battle. MacDonald, rebel, villain, villainies of nature do swarm upon him. Look at that. Nature is going to be a key word throughout. Swarm upon him. Insect imagery. We're going to get a lot of insects, animals, birds, usually with negative connotations. Brave Macbeth. That's really important because Macbeth has to be seen as the noble warrior. He has to be seen as a classical, medieval hero at the very beginning of the play. Nothing must tarnish his image at the beginning of the play. It will be tarnished soon enough. And he faced the slave, and he unseamed him from the knave to the chops and fixed his head upon our battlements. That's rather important too, because decapitation is the punishment for treason. And punctually at the end of the play, Malcolm and Macduff will make sure that Macbeth too is decapitated, before and after. Oh, valiant cousin, worthy gentleman. And the battle is lost and won. We meet a couple more of the Thanes, Ross and Angus, who report the rest of the battle, and Duncan concludes at the end of the scene, pronounce his present death, the Thane of Cawdor, and with his former title, greet Macbeth. Macbeth is named Thane of Cawdor. He doesn't know this yet, but the audience hears this Thane of Cawdor. What he hath lost, the old Thane of Cawdor, a traitor, noble Macbeth hath won. And so we've already seen the first proof of that idea of lost and won. And the final line of the scene is exactly an echo of what the witches said. Duncan and the witches are saying the same thing. This is important because equivocation brings all levels of society together.